in college. When I was working at Wawa, doing the job that is now a machine, and by the way, the machine's probably doing it more efficiently, I'm sure I wouldn't have looked forward and say, I bet one day they're going to replace all the clerks here and they're going to replace all the food prep people here with a kiosk. But how much easier is it to get your order right whenever that happens? Is it better? Well, I'm not screwing up somebody's order like I might have, if I'm working there now. So what do you think about it? Looking for jobs? I've got an article from Finance Online that they list 10 jobs that they will guarantee will not be around in 10 years. 839-1059. Susie is in Seaford, up next on Delaware 105.9. Susie, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing real good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
All right. Is your job going to be around, in 10, 20 years, you think?
I think so, because I repair computers, so I'm going to be repairing all the machines that are taking everybody else's jobs.
That's a really good point. Somebody's got to fix the. Yeah, my dad, when I was growing up, he worked on machinery, fixing the machines as an engineer, and he said the same thing, that somebody's got to fix them. You can build them, but there's always going to be somebody that needs to fix them, right?
That's it, absolutely.
So
I've been doing it for 37 years.
You've been fixing computers for 37 years?
Well, I've been with IBM for 37 years.
That's amazing. Boy, how things have changed, huh?
Yeah.
Where do you think it's going to be in 10 years? What can they do? What can they change? What can they make bigger?
Oh, the biggest thing they're doing is doing away with any kind of local storage. It's all in the cloud.
Oh, are you comfortable with that?
No, not at all.
I'm not either. I
like having my data right there in front of me.
Absolutely. And that way, if anything happens to it, you've got backups, you've got, nobody's accessing it, you've got all the files. I'm totally with you. Even something like Spotify to me is, I don't know, it's all there, but it's not the same. You don't have the same experience with the music, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, Susie. Thank you, Susie in Seaford. She fixes computers for IBM. What do? Do you think your job's going to be around in 10 or 20 years? 839-1059. Based on, look, I'm talking about automation, but there might just be changes in the way that society consumes things, right? 839-1059. 302-839-1059. Do you feel that in 10, 20 years, your gig is still going to be around? More coming up.
Hi, this is Ed Lester of the Brick Hotel, Restaurant and Tavern in Georgetown on the Circle. If you're looking for a unique and relaxing dining experience, we hope you'll join us at the Brick. Open Tuesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays with a $10 breakfast buffet.
Feeling like a nice, juicy prime rib? Well, it will be slow roasting all day today, and it's tonight's $19.99 feature at the Brick. There's always live music on Fridays and Saturdays to complement your meal. Reservations are suggested but not required.
We'll see you at the Brick, where things are happening west of the beach.
Take a behind-the-scenes peek at the Delmarva restaurant scene on Sip and Bite with the Rehoboth Foodie every Saturday from 3 to 5 on Delaware 105.9. Local chefs, bartenders, restaurant owners, beer and wine professionals, distillers, food producers, and foodies in the know will fill you in on everything breakfast, lunch, dinner, and beyond. Sip and Bite with the Rehoboth Foodie is brought to you by Mr. P's Wood-Fired Pizza and Pasta on Kings Highway in Lewis. Now open 7 days with 19 craft beers on tap, including casks and nitro. So grab your knife and fork and join me, the Rehoboth Foodie, for a sip and a bite every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5 on Delaware 105.9. You can also stream the show live on your phone or your computer simply by logging on to Delaware1059.com. But be careful, it might make you hungry.
Go go wild. Enjoy a festival for the entire family November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Waterfowl Festival in Easton, Maryland. Meet the world's best wildlife and nature artists in one place. Tickle your taste buds in our wine tasting pavilion and craft beer pub. Be amazed by the retriever demonstrations and our Dock Dogs competition. Don't miss our World Championship Goose and Duck Calling Contest. Tickets are only $15 and good all weekend. Proceeds benefit Chesapeake Bay Waterfowl Conservation. Tickets and info at waterfowlfestival.org.
All right, 839-1059. The future, your job, do you think it'll be around in 10 or 20 years? What jobs do you think won't exist, and what jobs do you think will? They're saying that 50% of the workforce will be replaced by automation in the next 10 or 20 years. 839-1059. Let's go to Chris in Dover up next. Chris, hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's in your mind?
With the previous caller, they have a term for it. If it isn't in the air, they don't care.
Wow.
All your cables are going away, and they want to do everything over the airwaves.
Yikes.
I think the technology is going to develop because with the exorbitant price of having to insure employees and handle liability issues with them, if they can do it with a computer, they're going to do that to save themselves, the bottom line, to save themselves money in the long run.
Right.
So,
why not?
I think the future business is going to be, the caller call, and I'm somewhat in a delivery business.
Yep.
Deliveries, you look at Amazon and some of these other companies, I think you're going to see the drone situation. They're going to be researching that more for a variety of things, mail and everything else, if they can get away from having to drive on the highways again with the liability issues and stuff like that.
Is it too sci-fi to talk about the 3D printers?
That's a huge thing too. A lot of the car parts now,
right?
They're finding out that they can use those printers now to replace the part. They don't have to go to the manufacturer or the knockoff companies that make a lot of the parts.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And so, look, I mean, you're talking the manufacturing jobs that are making that widget then. They're not going to need to do it if you can just download the schematics and print it out in your shop.
Absolutely.
Yikes.
Yep, you had a caller that said he was worried about his kids, and I'm in the same bracket.
Yeah.
My son just graduated college, and he's employed. I've got a daughter in college, and I'm worried what they're going to be coming into. Hopefully they'll adapt, because it's definitely going to be different for them when they're my age.
Yeah, no, right, absolutely. Do you echo the concern the last caller had about the cloud stuff? Too much stuff in the cloud. There's no hard files anywhere. Does that scare you at all, or does it not matter?
It scares me for security. I had a relative have their identity stolen, basically in that way. They had a utility. Their information was compromised by a major utility company.
Right.
So,
sure.
Who had hired a temporary employee to save money, and I won't go into that anymore. So, I think if you put that over the airwaves, it's able to be picked up. My wife had an interesting comment about that the other night. Pictures. We were going through some old photo albums, and if you don't save that stuff forever now, everybody doing it on their phones, you're not going to be able to breeze through however many decades later and say, oh, you remember this or that or whatever, because they're not going to save it.
Right. Oh, I know that. And then this is going to sound just like a fear factor, but if we forget our history, then what do we become? We become completely disposable. No, I mean everything does. No,
right. I agree. She had mentioned that on the photos, and she said it's a shame because the kids aren't going to save this stuff on their devices, and it'll eventually get deleted. And unless you print it and file it somewhere, they're gonna lose it or not remember it.
Right. I hear you. Hey, listen, Chris, good talk. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. 839-1059. 302-839-1059. Look, as somebody who works in radio, which is one of the older technologies that's still being used, I know there's still printing and prostitution and other. Well, that's not a technology. It's a profession, though. I think about the future. In 20 years, what's it going to look like? Radio. What am I going to be doing? But luckily, I'm able to just worry about what I'm doing today and blissfully live unawares of what is happening 10 years from now. Because, you can't, in my opinion, right, you can plan for catastrophe and stuff, but what you can't do is you can't keep it from happening. And so whatever happens, happens. And maybe you've got faith that you're going to be okay, or you're blissfully unaware and tragedy will strike. But either way, that's why I am counting on, if anything happens with radio, that we'll have another good president like Obama who can just who can bail us out. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Of course, I'm being facetious. 839-1059. But I'm adapting, Whatever. We'll see what happens. 839-1059. Gladys is in Georgetown. Gladys, hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm already experienced the problems of losing a job or retiring from a job that is no longer there anymore, and that's being a telephone operator for the telephone company.
Oh, they don't have operators?
They closed the office in Sussex County and transferred us to Dover. Then they closed Dover and wanted us to ride to Wilmington, and thank God by that time we had enough service and we could retire.
Yeah.
But a telephone operator is something that no longer exists.
Well, so what happens if I press 0 on the phone? Will I not talk to somebody? It's been so long since I've had to do it. What happens if I do that?
Well, then you'll not get a local telephone operator. It might be out of state.
Is that right? And so you tell them what... now, it's different now because now it's like information. When you were doing it, were you actually connecting the calls?
Yes, indeed. You picked up a signal that dropped on your board.
Yeah.
And then you got the number and wrote it down, and then you went and dialed it up and connected them to Dover, Wilmington, or California, wherever they wanted. But it had to be hand done.
It's pretty amazing. Was it? Did you like it? Was that a fun job?
Oh, yeah. I liked it well enough to do it for about 20 years and get a retirement out of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. In a way, my wife kind of does that. She doesn't. She's not an operator, but she answers the phones here at work. So that's who you talked to before. So I'm really interested in the industry. Thank you so much, Gladys. I appreciate it. There's a job. Is that job going to be around? Luckily, she's not banking her retirement on call greeting for my show. Right? That'd be pretty. That's a future I wouldn't bank on. You know what I mean? But even radio, can I radio nerd for a second? Even radio is super interesting. How many of you right now are listening on the app? Or Collins here from Catch It Live right now, and they're testing some equipment, broadcasting video all over the internet right now, as they do with Dan every morning. I mean, that's a complete change. Can you imagine that? 10 years ago, I had to bring my own webcam to work, and I was broadcasting on Justin TV, and the computers couldn't handle it because they didn't have enough RAM. Trying to do that and show prep, and not to mention, when I first got into radio, the first radio station that I did anything at had no computers at all, and we were using CDs and we were using carts, and that certainly changed. Radio stations don't even have CD players anymore. It's all a big playlist on a computer. Basically it's like listening to iTunes. I'm not sure why you're listening for the DJ chatter, I guess. Did you hear what happened with Kim Kardashian? You know how radio is. Let's go to talk is different though. And yes, I'm a talk radio what would you call it, supremacist, because ultimately I don't know how long talk radio will continue to be around. But it's still it's still an amazing thing to be able to talk to people, over the airwaves like this. And I think it's cool. It'll probably end up being more internet based in the future, and much more either macro or micro. It depends on what you're going for. Let's go to Tom in Milford, first time caller line. Tom, hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, Jared, first time caller. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good to hear you. Thanks for making the switch. What's on your mind?
I sent you a song on your page. It's 50-something years old.
Okay.
It predicts the very same topic you're talking about.
Really? Is it in the year 2525?
No.
I hate that song, man. Oh, I'm looking for it. Is it on my Facebook?
Yeah, it's on your Facebook page, yes.
Where is it at? I don't see it.
Automation.
You know that song in the year 2525?
If Man is Still Alive.
Oh, I hate it. Not good.
Jagger and Evans or...
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Should I find it? I'm looking for it. So tell me what you think. Do you think, what do you think will not be around in 20 years, job-wise?
Well, there's some jobs that only humans can do.
Like what?
And they... like restaurant work. You know, you got to have somebody back there knowing what they're doing and stuff.
You don't think it's just going to be vending machines and that are shooting out food like in Japan? That's what I think it's going to be.
You still need people to make the machines and stock the machines.
Well, that's right. And you need chefs and everything else.
Yes.
Oh, okay, here's their song. I got it. Thank you for the talk, Tom. Hey, Tom, before you go, did you know, this is just a random piece of knowledge I just found out. Did you know that Louis Farrakhan was a calypso singer before he was a Nation of Islam guy?
Yes, his videos on YouTube. He was on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Pretty amazing.
He did like a Harry Belafonte.
Yeah,
he was popular in the early 50s. Yeah,
he was called the Charmer.
Yes.
Anyway, useless information.
I know.
Oh.
That was what was making the factory go.
What is this, Steve Bryant's show? Get out of here. Let's hear Louis Farrakhan instead. Let's go to Joe in Ocean City. Joe, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm getting old.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm retired. Okay, retired engineer all my life, or most of my life. And I'm happily retired, playing golf today and receiving my Social Security check from our uncle down in Washington.
Yes.
And I just got a question.
Yes.
If 50% will be automated in 20 years, who's going to pay your retirement?
Oh, that's a really good question. Who's going to pay the retirement? Nobody, I guess.
They're not going to pay it, right? The computers.
That's right. The internet's not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to like a cash machine. Well, for me, I'm not banking on having a retirement because of that. But, that's thank you for the call. I got a break, but I'm not mad at you. It's a pessimistic view. I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask my wife. She takes care of the funds. She'll take care of it. We're doing the Dave Ramsey thing. We don't need money. Debt snowball. We're good. Check out the traffic situation here. Delaware 105.9, Robin Bryson, 357.
Jared, traffic runs pretty well around the area this afternoon. A little bit of busy activity on southbound 13 through the split and down past Route 10 in Camden. You're running well on Route 1 through the Dover Toll Plaza. 13 through Harrington and then down into Sussex County into Bridgeville towards Seaford. Minor delays at the major intersections in each of the towns, but not too bad a ride from what we've seen. Route 1 doing all right around 5 points and down past Route 24. Do watch for construction crew that's out in southeastern Sussex County. Route 26 at Roxana Road. Lane restrictions there until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. It will cause a minor delay at times. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
Hi, it's Dan Gaffney. Join me weekday mornings, 5:30 a.m. till 10 for the Dan Gaffney program right here on Delaware 105.9.
And now the 3-day forecast for Sussex and Kent County from the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
It'll be mainly clear and breezy this evening with a low of 43. Then tomorrow we can expect it to be cloudy, windy, and cooler with a high of 51 and a low tomorrow night of 40. Sunny, mostly sunny and warmer, high 58. Monday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 62. And Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 63. I'm Holly Holdren in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
Local news first on Delaware 105.9.
Delaware 105.9 News Time 3:59. Good Friday afternoon to you on the Jared Morris Show. I'm Mark Fauser. It's 58 in Rehoboth and 61 in Georgetown. Delaware State Police are looking for your help in trying to identify two suspects in a case of skimming, in which a device is installed in a gas pump to steal credit and debit card information. These incidents took place back in September at the Harbison Deli, 26454 Lewis Georgetown Highway. And troopers say the stolen credit card information later was used at several locations in Wilmington and Pennsylvania. Now, you can see a surveillance photo of one of the suspects at Delaware105.9.com. If you think you can help with this investigation, you are asked to call Delaware State Police at 302-752-3812 or Delaware Crime Stoppers at 800-TIP-3333. Well, more news around a controversial shopping center development. Details on that coming up from the first town in the first state. This is WXDE Lewis. It's 4 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Jim Taylor. Abortion. U.S. Supreme Court agrees to hear about a controversial law in Texas. We are live now with CBS News correspondent Barry Bagnato.
That law, Jim, would create strict new medical requirements for clinics. Only about 10 would be able to remain open in that large state, opponents warn. National Abortion Federation President Vicky Saporta says already choices are dwindling.
We hear from women every day who are traveling to Louisiana and New Mexico in order to obtain abortion care.
Pro-Life Action League Director Eric Scheidler hopes the court will allow more safety oversight of abortion.
In so many states is completely unrestricted and free from any kind of government scrutiny at all.
Live in Washington, Barry Bagnato, CBS News.
An amended ruling from the Utah judge who ordered a baby girl to be removed next week from her foster parents who are lesbian and placed with a straight couple. Now, the same judge says the couple can keep the girl for now until another hearing 3 weeks from today. It happened in Raqqa, Syria. Drone strike killing of a man suspected of being Jihadi John. The ISIS militant seen depicting beheadings of Western hostages like American journalist James Foley. His father, John Foley, reacts.
Jihadi John makes no difference to us. Jim is dead. He won't bring bombing him won't bring Jim back. It won't change the war. We need to eliminate ISIS.
U.S. military says since May it has killed one ISIS leader every 2 days. Democratic debates tomorrow night on CBS. A preview now.
I know how to stand my ground.
At the last debate, Hillary Clinton earned rave reviews for her strong presence on stage. Tomorrow night, Diana Miller wants to see
more of the same. I have been so impressed with Hillary.
Bernie Sanders has been wont to criticize Clinton, but he's been pointing out his consistency over the years on the Iraq War, free trade, and the Keystone XL pipeline. Sanders backer Brad James.
I'd like to see more of that to kind of, wake people up a little bit. Maybe Hillary's not the best candidate out there.
Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Des Moines.
El Nino is here and a bunch of wet storms are sure to follow. So say forecasters with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Mike Halbert says drought-racked California could see heavy rains and possibly mudslides by January.
We're not going to wipe out a 4-year drought in 1 year, and some of the rain will just kind of run off and end up undoubtedly in the Pacific Ocean. But certainly any rain will be beneficial at some level.
Uh-oh.
SpaghettiOs!
Huh?
It's gotta be SpaghettiOs!
Recall of 355,000 cans of SpaghettiOs, possibly choking hazards due to pieces of red plastic, part of the can's lining found in some of those cans. A Campbell Soup Company announcing the recall after receiving complaints. The company assures that the plastic is food grade and not harmful if swallowed. Wall Street shuts down for the weekend, losing 201 points, the Dow does today, finishing at 17,246. This is CBS News.
In a world where man services machine, there is one elite team with Ford-designed tools, Ford-certified training, and Ford-backed motorcraft parts. They are the specialists at Ford.
Now get the works, an oil change, tire rotation, and more for $39.95 or less minus a $10 mail-in rebate. That's $29.95. Up to 5 quarts oil, taxes, diesel, and disposal fees extra. Rebate by prepaid debit card. See a participating Ford dealer for exclusions and rebate details through 12/31/15.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
Delaware 105.9 news time 4:04. One person's been treated at an area hospital after a home invasion in Harrington. Police were called earlier today to West Center Street in Harrington, where a reported suspect knocked at the door of a home, spoke with a victim about having a vehicle repaired, and then a second suspect appeared brandishing a handgun. Both of these men forced their way inside the home, demanding money from the victim, who was held at gunpoint by one suspect as the other bound his hands. Now, the victim was able to get out,